Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the founder of the Exodus Project. Tagline, Let My People Go.
How many of you voting for Hillary? That's a wicked woman. Most of you that went to jail for having a little blunt in your pocket, they arranged that, the Clintons. Mass incarceration came about under the Clintons. Don't forget that.
Now, when I say my people, I'm referring to the black Americans that continue to be enslaved, exploited, lied to, and deceived by racist white liberal Democrats.
And the liberal element of whites are those who have perfected the art of selling themselves to the Negro as a friend of the Negro, getting the sympathy of the Negro, getting the allegiance of the Negro, getting the mind of the Negro. And then the Negro sides with the white liberal, and the white liberal uses the Negro against the white conservative. So that anything that the Negro does is never for his own good, never for his own advancement, never for his own progress. He's only a pawn in the hands of the white liberal.
These cynical devils have exercised indiscriminate cruelty in crafting the largest, most effective political Ponzi scheme the world has ever seen, second only to Satan's rebellion against heaven. This message is necessary because it represents the truth and your salvation from the grand scheme carefully orchestrated by racist white liberal Democrats.
So you Democrats, you've been in that party a long time. Answer me, what did you get?
Many of our so-called black pastors and leaders are anything but that. They have sold us out and perpetuated black America's pathological, illogical alliance with these racist white liberal Democrats. Listen to this Margaret Sanger quote.
We should hire 3 or 4 colored ministers, preferably with social service backgrounds and with engaging personalities. The most successful educational approach to the Negro is through a religious appeal. We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is a man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members.
I admire Margaret Sanger enormously. Her courage, her tenacity, her vision.
I do want to bring up the fact that you were the one that brought up the word super predator about young black youth.
I think race has something to do with the fact that they're not bringing up an immigration bill.
These racist white liberal Democrats, with the assistance of many black pastors, have erroneously convinced you that Republicans and conservatives are racist, and now you feel you have no political alternative to voting Democrat.
And in 2009, I became a Republican. And I believe that the Democratic Party is not the party, it's clearly not the party that a lot of African Americans believe it is. They don't have to stay in the Democratic Party, and that there is a party that offers hope and a way out of the misery that so many people suffer. I believe that many of the programs that the Democratic Party pushes enslaves blacks, and when they bring in more and more immigrants, that decreases opportunities for low-wage, low-skilled Americans of all races. So the policies of the Democratic Party are not policies that are going to enable many poor people to overcome their plight. I believe in the American dream, and again, I'm going to keep going back to black people because I'm black, is that we put our faith in government now. There was a time when we put our faith in God, but now it's government, and that's a mistake.
Democrats are desperate for blacks to show up at the ballot box on the first Tuesday in November, but their desperation is based on their thirst for power, not a desire to help blacks, women, homosexuals, illegals, or children, as they have misled people to believe. These groups are simply a means to an end, or the vehicle by which Democrats can reach their ideological agenda. I would like to share with you the tactics used by Democrats to manipulate and emotionally stimulate blacks to the ballot box.
They're gonna put you all back in chains.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
When we reach down to that man beside the road who has been passed by for so long, we are called upon to lift him up and testify, and with our faith, breathe life.
What's something that you always carry with you?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
I just want you to know, people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people.
You know, she I don't know, she panders to black people. She tries to, quote unquote, act black when she's around black people, and it's ridiculous.
Pandering is an age-old but highly effective tactic because it is emotionally stimulating and flattering. This Democrat Party grand scheme is complex but navigable, and it is my passion for the truth that guides me through their treacherous waters of lies, deceit, and racial exploitation. The black community's pathological, illogical alliance to the Democrat Party has led to our cult-like commitment to repeatedly re-electing these political Pied Pipers.
Haitian activists staged a protest outside Hillary Clinton's Manhattan office. The demonstrators claim billions of dollars were stolen through the Haiti Reconstruction Commission headed by Bill Clinton. They say they want their message to get out so Americans won't vote for her if she runs for president.
We are telling the world of the crimes that Bill and Hillary Clinton are responsible for in Haiti, and we are telling the American people that the over 32,000 emails that Hillary Clinton said she deleted have evidence of the crimes they've committed.
We need to take these people on. They are not just gangs of kids anymore. The kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel.
So I think we've got somebody saying here, we have to bring them
apologize for mass incarceration.
Heel. Okay, we'll talk
I'm
about it.
not a super predator, Hillary Clinton.
Okay, fine, we'll talk about it.
You apologize to black people for mass incarceration?
Well, can I talk, and then maybe you can listen to what I say? Okay, fine. Thank you very much. There's a lot of issues in this campaign. The very first speech that I gave back in April was about criminal justice reform and about
predators.
You're being rude.
That's not appropriate. Super predators. This is not appropriate. That's rude.
Now, do you want to hear the facts and just want to talk?
I know that you called black youth super predators in 1994. Please explain the record. Explain it to us. You owe black people an apology.
Well,
excuse us.
That's inappropriate. If you will give me a chance to talk, I'll approach your side. You know what? Nobody's ever asked me before. You're the first person to ask me, and I'm happy to address it, but you are the first person to ask me here. Okay, back to...
For too long, the black community has been intentionally kept in the dark when it comes to the true history of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is the party of racism, slavery, theft, economic exploitation, the KKK, Jim Crow, lynching, black codes, legalized genocide, and all of the components that make their grand scheme possible.
It was the Democrat Party that was the party of Jim Crow, segregation laws, and black codes. And it was the Republican Party that championed black civil rights. Was George Wallace a Democrat or Republican? Was Bull Connor a Democrat or Republican? Which political party started the Ku Klux Klan, better known as the KKK? Are you voting your values, or are you voting Democrat just for the sake of family tradition? The party that viciously enslaved my great-grandfather somehow deceived me and tricked me to gain my vote. I was voting for my own oppression and didn't know it.
What I find to be particularly disconcerting is the fact that these racist white liberal Democrats have managed to transfer their racist history and present onto the Republican Party.
The Democratic Party is the party of propaganda. We've been deceived. We've been tricked. We've been misled. Become part of the Frederick Douglass Republican movement.
Now, The Democrat Party has been like Teflon when it comes to making the truth stick, and that is primarily because the group of people that have been at the brunt of Democrat Party racism and treachery is the same group of people that emphatically defend these races, and that group of people is the black community.
Ashley Beckford here, reporting for Infowars.com. I'm here at the end of the presidential debate. I'd like to know how this woman thinks that the debate went. What do you think about the debate that just went down?
I think that the race was close and it's no longer close. I think people who are in their right mind will be making the right decision and will be voting for Hillary Clinton.
So you're saying that that right decision is actually to vote for Donald Trump because Hillary lied through the entire debate. Is that what you're saying?
Are you really doing this to me?
All right, I'm playing with you. So you're a Hillary Clinton supporter is what you're saying?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And what brings you to support Hillary Clinton after all of the vitriolic, disgusting comments she's made about black people, such as black young men are super predators? How do you feel about that? This is back in the 90s. Are you aware of the comments that she made where she said black males were super predators and they need to be made to heal? No?
Really?
I mean, it's okay if you haven't heard of it. I'm just trying to ask, like, what you think about Hillary Clinton's past of just supporting a lot of seriously racist people.
I think I will not give you permission to present this on the internet.
Okay. So what do you think about the debate then?
No comment.
No comment? So what brought you here? Just to support Hillary Clinton?
I think it's time for me to go. It was nice meeting you, though.
I didn't actually meet you. What was your name? All right, well, there you have it. We have someone here who is supporting Hillary Clinton, a lovely black woman. She would not provide to me any information as to why she's supporting Hillary Clinton, why she's ignoring her blatant racist past. She's not giving me any info whatsoever. She's just one of the people who's blindly supporting Hillary Clinton. She doesn't know why. And if she does know why, she's not willing to share it with us. It's really, really shocking, and it's really, really disturbing. I'm sorry to have to present this to you, but I will have to. I'm going to ignore her plea not to put this on the internet. She shouldn't have stopped if she didn't want her opinion spread on the internet, which was basically that she loves Hillary Clinton and she has no idea why.
The Democrats' party purpose was and is to maintain white supremacy, and the Democrat Party fought the Civil War to protect slavery as an institution, or in other words, to maintain legalized white supremacy. Once the Republicans freed the slaves and brought an end to the legalized slavery of blacks, Democrats immediately put into action their plan to make life for blacks in America a living hell.
Fruit, blood on the leaves, and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene.
Before the day was over, almost 1,000 children were in jail. A day later, another 1,000 children joined the march. This time, the authorities resorted to violence. The marchers were blasted with fire hoses, beaten with clubs, attacked by police dogs, and gassed.
An in-depth look into the modern Democrat Party and the father of that party, Andrew Jackson, reveals to us their racist history and the origins of their current evil and deceptive ways. Democrat President Andrew Jackson was responsible for the mistreatment and murder of thousands of American Indians. Jackson was also a brutal slave master who was quite comfortable with murdering and raping his slaves with reckless abandon and no regard for their humanity. Andrew Jackson and other racist Democrats around that time period were challenged by Republican Senator Charles Sumner, Republican President Abraham Lincoln, and Republican former slave Frederick Douglass, who said, "Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground." I agree with Douglass. Power concedes nothing without a demand, and so I will continue to agitate these racist white liberal Democrats and the racist, homicidal, genocidal, maniac blacks that continue to support their liberal white Democrat master and the Democrat policies that result in the homicide and genocide of blacks.
All right, back to the little clinic solution line. Hey there, Alan.
Yes. And I want to resume right here. What Minister doesn't understand, it's a few things he doesn't seem to understand. This whole dance, this whole courtship that the Democrat Party has with the black community, hey, Minister, it's about over. Because once amnesty is passed, you go from the back of the bus out the back door onto the pavement. Because amnesty is not about 11 million illegals. It's going to be approximately 60 million because there's currently more than 11 million here. And once amnesty is given to those individuals, their immediate family members will also be given amnesty. Now, what do you think is going to happen to the significance of the black vote once there's 60 million Mexicans here? That whole courtship, that love affair that the Democrat Party has with y'all right now because they need your vote is going to go away. They will have 60 million new dedicated voters, and that's more than enough to put them over top every election, and they will no longer need you people. Now, Hillary comes on, and all you black people fall for it when she talks about paying the fair share. The wealthy got to pay their fair share. Minister, 1%, the top 1% pays 50% of the bill in this country. Now, if that, I don't know what type of math you had coming up, but if 1% pay 50%, and some fool can convince you that they're not paying their fair share, then what does that say about your intellect? Recently, LeBron James wrote an op-ed. LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And he basically stated in that op-ed that he supports Hillary because of all that she has done for children. Well, here's the problem with that. Hillary was the one that's called black males super predators. Minister, let me tell you something about how profound and detrimental that statement has been. When she referred to black males as super predators, that was the turning point that caused many people, including law enforcement, to respond differently to black males in the urban core. It put them on alert. And I would argue that because of her reference to black males as super predators, that's why you see situations where the police are a little quicker to be aggressive in order to defend themselves. And hell, if I was a cop patrolling in the urban core, I would feel the same way.
As far as know-nothing athletes and entertainers speaking out on political matters, spare us the pain of having to listen to your pathetic opinions about why you are supporting a racist liberal white woman that has been an advocate for the wholesale murder of millions of innocent black babies. Unfortunately, black Americans continue to vote to die, and the Democrats tell you vote or die. Speaking of vote or die, let's take a look at where that came from.
Ku Klux Klan was the terrorist fraternity founded by the Democrat Party, and their message was simple: vote or die. And when you vote, you make sure it's for Democrats. Now, who is it that was carrying on that vote or die message? Oh yeah, Diddy. Now, do you think that whole vote or die, rock the vote campaign is propaganda for you to vote Republican? No, it's for you to vote Democrat.
Wow. Look at how these tricky racist Democrats have recycled their racist message of vote or die and used it once again to exploit you. Let me be clear. The historical and current evidence points to one simple fact. The racist white liberal Democrat Party continues to be the only systemically racist political institution in America. These Democrats have convinced us through the repetition of lies, deceit, and propaganda that Republicans are racist. They have also convinced us that genocide, i.e. abortion, is a normal function of life. They have put homosexuals, illegals, and environmental issues ahead of black life, black economics, black communities, etc. And we are poised to once again be their political chumps.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. They see that the whites are so evenly divided that every time they vote, the race is so close they have to go back and count the votes all over again. And which means that any block, any minority that has a block of votes that stick together, you're in a position to determine who'll go to the White House and who'll stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You can keep Johnson in Washington, D.C., or you can send him back to his Texas cotton patch. You're the one who sent Kennedy to Washington. You're the one who put the present Democratic administration in Washington, D.C. The whites were evenly divided. It was the fact that you threw 80% of your votes behind the Democrats that put the Democrats in the White House. When you see this, you can see that the Negro vote is the key factor. And despite the fact that you are in a position to be the determining factor, what do you get out of it? The Democrats have been in Washington, D.C. only because of the Negro vote. They've been down there 4 years. And all other legislation they wanted to bring up, they brought it up and gotten it out of the way, and now they bring up you. And now they bring up you. You put them first and they put you last. Because you're a chump. A political chump. In Washington, D.C., in the House of Representatives, there are 257 who are Democrats. Only 177 are Republican. In the Senate, there are 67 Democrats. Only 33 are Republicans. The party that you bash controls 2/3 of the House of Representatives and the Senate, and still they can't keep their promise to you, because you're a chump. Anytime you throw your weight behind a political party that controls 2/3 of the government, and that party can't keep the promise that it made to you during election time, and you're dumb enough to walk around continuing to identify yourself with that party, you're not only a chump, but you're a traitor to your race.
That speech by Malcolm X would be incomplete and less profound if I failed to mention that for the first 2 years of Obama's presidency, the Democrats controlled more than 2/3 of the government. They controlled 3/3, or simply put, all of the government, and they still ignored you.
But today, as your eyes come open and you develop political maturity, you're able to see and think for yourself. And you can see that a Dixiecrat is nothing but a Democrat in disguise.
Today, your eyes must be opened. Today, I would like to share with you some images of blacks that the racist white liberal Democrat media has been forbidden to show you. These images are proof that many blacks are leaving the Democrat Party plantation to become independents, Republicans, and more importantly, Frederick Douglass Republicans.
Michael the black man, I'm here with my brothers. You want to see her speech on Wednesday? Trump for president. Trump, when they say that Trump is a racist, that's a lie. My name is Michael the black man. That's what he wants. Michael the black man.
He's going to be
president of the United States. He should be president of the United States. That's what he should be. He should be president of the United States. Why are people mad at the people? Because this is who the people want to be president.
Well, you know, Donald Trump is what Americans love. Donald Trump is what Americans aspire to be. Rich, powerful, do what you want to do, say what you want to say, be how you want to be.
First of all, I've known Donald before he became the Donald. And Donald is not a racist. Now, I hate to tell people, just because you build a wall doesn't mean you're a racist.
So Donald Trump is saying, yo, y'all niggas is bored. Y'all bored.
I get
And
it.
he's telling nigga at a presidential debate. Matter of fact, I paid you last year, nigga. Like, stop. Like, it's being disrespectful with this shit. He's almost doing a 50 Cent in politics. No, it's real talk.
We watching.
No, for real.
We watching.
Listen, So all that shit, he's running for the right reason. He's putting his own money and all that. That's it.
Me and Donald are cool.
Does he get your vote?
Donald will get my vote.
Wow. Big statement. Big support.
See, I just wonder how much of it is really trolling, because I saw you walking on your phone saying you're going to vote for Trump. I said, this from the hood ain't voting for no Donald Trump.
You a damn lie.
You voting for Trump?
Yes.
Why?
Donald Trump, man. Hey, man, everything he's saying is crazy, but everything he's saying is correct.
And what they are seeing is that he knows both sides of the game. And he is absolutely anti-establishment. You know, he's for the people.
Vote for him.
So you're a Trump guy?
I'm a Trump guy. I wasn't in the beginning. Of course, I'm Mexican.
We endorse Donald J. Trump!
Yo, I'm going to say this once and one time only, people. Vote for Trump. He not saying, oh, let's board up the walls and get all of the niggers, all of the black people out. No, he never said that, yo. You know, all of this money that could be in our pockets right now is not in our pockets, yo. It's going to the people that's hopping over the fences and shit like that, hopping over the borders illegally. That shit is whack, yo. We need to get paid too.
It is a fact that for 54 years, we have been voting for the Democratic Party like no other race in America. And they have not given us the same loyalty and love that we have given them. We as black people have to re-examine the relationship.
I agree.
Where we're being pimped like prostitutes. The first black president ever. But did our condition get better? Did financially, politically, academically, with education in our community, did things get better? Are our young people working more than what it was before they came into office?
They got worse.
The condition got worse.
Right.
Well, just tell them who you voting for, man.
Man, you know who motherfucker took $1 million and made it into $1 billion. Shit, the motherfucker who trying to make America great again. What's understood don't need to be explained.
So how did you become a Republican? I'm curious.
You know what I'm saying? When I was in the first grade, you know what I'm saying, it was told to me from my first grade teacher that you know who was the party of the presidency when it was signed the Emancipation Proclamation. I'm like, who? He was a Republican, and his name was Abe Lincoln. I'm like, shit, well, I fucks with the Republicans then. If you voting Democrat, motherfucker, that's because you want some goddamn stamps. You know what I'm saying? You want some motherfucking aid and assist. You don't want to get off your goddamn ass and don't want to do no motherfucking goddamn work. Get your ass up, get to work, motherfucker, and make America great again. That's what we gonna do, make $1 million to $1 billion.
This nigga said make America great again! Can you please explain to me the time in the era when America was great?
When everybody was working.
America was great then?
Motherfuckers was working. Flat out.
My name is HB from the Bronx, New York. I'm supporting Trump, definitely. I really feel like if Trump doesn't get in office, then America may go down a detrimental path that we may not be able to come back from. And that's the honest truth. I think it's imperative that we get Trump in office. Even though we have a president like this now, we're more racially divided than we've ever been. Under the first black president that mostly white people voted for, we're more divided than we ever. And I don't like the fact that the Democratic plantation always tries to play off of the real pain and suffering that we have in the black community. But we're so much at each other's throat, we don't even see the plan.
We want you all, the left-wing media, to stop pushing that agenda. We were bullied until you better vote for the man because he's black. And now they're trying to push the same agenda. You better vote for the woman because you're a woman. We don't have to vote based on race or gender. We are voting based on who is going to do the job. And when we look at everybody, we only see one man that can get the job done, and that's Donald J. Trump.
So why is it that now we have a man who can't be bought, who's a real leader? Why do we have to bow our heads and be apologetic and ashamed to say that we support Donald Trump? You guys know about the guy that threatened me last week. Let's talk about you guys. You've been called racist. You've been called like myself and others, anti-black or anti-Hispanic. People have said things to you in public. You stand for what you believe in.
And you know what? I support Donald Trump. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm a black man. I'm a Donald Trump supporter. I'm voting for him. I'm voting him in.
He's a businessman. We're a global economy. I'm going to tell you like this. As a black man, I'm more excited about this election than I was Obama. I learned so much since 2008 that I really feel like Trump is the man to bring us back to where we need to be for my family and what's right for my stepdaughters.
Donald is really talking about building a wall that's going to create millions of jobs, bringing jobs back from China, negotiating better deals for America. I'm voting for Donald Trump for those reasons.
I'm a young black dude in the inner city of Chicago. It may not help me.
Donald Trump being president might not trickle down to me at all. For the greater of mankind, I think it may be a start.
We finally have an outsider who's going to say enough is enough.
I'm voting for Donald Trump because I feel like he's the best person for the job.
He wants to keep the American people safe. He wants to bring back jobs where we can thrive. And he wants to unite this country and bring back spirit, and that's what we need.
You don't look like a Trump supporter to me. When people think about Trump supporters, hold this for me, Ernie. When people think about Trump supporters, I'm not sure they think about you. What is he tapping into? Help me understand this. What is he? Just in a word or in a sentence?
Truth. It's time for somebody to make a stand. They're talking about black and white don't love each other. There's a lie. We built this country together. I'm making a stand for American people. Whoever want to make it happen, black, white, whoever, he's gonna take back this country. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna take care of veterans. He's gonna take care of all our veterans. He's gonna take care of military. He's gonna take care of the people. We're taking back America.
People are ready to come up.
I am the mother of 3 boys of the greater Los Angeles area. Mr. Chairman, it is so important that my 3 sons, have hope and opportunities for their future, that there are good jobs, and that there are families that need safety in their communities. Mr. Chairman, Donald Trump is the candidate that can provide for my boys and all Californians the hope and opportunity of the true American.
Donald Trump is not going to pander after no one race. His heart is after the human race. And despite the color you was born with, here in America, the only colors that matter are the colors of the red, white,
and you got to remember, he also says, I want to make America great again and better than ever before. But he's saying, I want to take back to a time when America's prestige was great. When people valued seeing the American flag, where we all loved being American. I want to take it back to a time when the American military was actually respected, a time when America was rich and running a surplus instead of almost a $19 trillion in debt. That doesn't mean I want to make it better for whites. I want to make it better for blacks. I want to make it better for Hispanics. I want to make it better for everyone. Everyone here in America would profit from America being great again.